Hello, sometimes ideas are so stupid you gotta comment on them. And this conflict, you see this kind of group, let's call them the Homos for Hamas group, this LGBTIQ, they're all also for mass immigration, no borders, EU open borders, mass immigration. Hates Christianity and its influence as the foundation of Irish society. They hate that, the foundation of our culture, but they're really happy to celebrate every other culture, for some reason, especially Islam. Now, when you look at the Sunday Times today, has the guards commenting on that they are aware that there's radical Islamists in Ireland, and they're keeping an eye on them because their propensity for violence. Why do they have a propensity for violence? Because that's what it says in the tin. Islam, or the Quran, commands Muslims to kill non-Muslims. I think it occurs 109 times in the Quran. So they're not Muslims, as we've had in Dundalk. Remember, we had that Muslim guy who killed the Japanese tourist in Dundalk about four years ago. We also had a young Kurdish Muslim in Sligo who not only murdered, but he decapitated and castrated 2 homosexual men, and he was looking to kill more. Muslims, they don't have to be radical, they don't have to be extreme, they only have to do it literally, and that is to kill non-Muslims, behead, strike terror into their hearts, and also to kill homosexuals. So we see now in various parts in London, for example, and in the US, we see the confrontation between Islamic people who are out campaigning, and then the LGBTIQ group. Who will find themselves in countries like Iraq and Syria, where Islam predominates. What happens there? What would happen to the Homos for Hamas? Oh, they would be decapitated. They would be castrated. They would be thrown off the top of buildings and killed. So is it naivety, or is it just cultural hatred of Christianity in the far left is so deep that they will accept anything and everybody to carry out their mission to exterminate Christian culture from Ireland and from Europe? This ideology of intersectionality, obviously, when ideology meets reality, there's a huge conflict, and we can see it. So what I advocate, as an Irish people, we are proud of who we are, our culture, which is based on, as a Gaelic people, as a Christian people. We should be proud of it. And it's been the foundation of our, let's say, at least success for over 1,500 years. It is what we share in common. If we reject that, we've got nothing in common with our fellow countrymen. And it is very important, because multicultural societies, where there's no common language, common history, common identity, common religion, all these things what makes Ireland a nation, her history and her culture. These things are very, very important, and that's why we would be very naive and stupid if we allowed the mass importation of high numbers of people from completely different cultures which are incompatible to Ireland. And also, we have no places to put these people. Irish resources should be for the benefit of Irish people, and not for every Tom, Dick and Harry who lands on a plane in Ireland. And especially the importation of adherents of the Islamic ideology, which is based on the advocacy of violence against non-Muslims, that is very naive, especially of these Homos for Hamas types. They will be the first to be decapitated and thrown off buildings. So I'm just asking people to think about it for a little while and see how silly this idea of mass importation and multiculturalism is, the damage it will do to Ireland, and we have a duty to protect Ireland for ourselves and for our children. It's a very bad road to go down. The mass importation of this Islamic ideology into Ireland will be very unsafe, not just for ordinary Irish people, but especially for the LGBT groups who will be thrown off buildings and decapitated if literal Muslims get a chance. That's the reality, and I'm just asking you to think about it and talk about it with your friends. So my name is Herman Kelly. I'm president of the Irish Freedom Party. I'm running as a candidate in the European elections. I would ask you to come out, make contact and come out and support me. Go to Margaretsa, Slán Hispanic.
straat.
Kijk, je bent welkom, maar...
Nee,
Ik ben bang voor je. Ik kom uit Palestina, wij zijn bang voor iedereen. Christen, moslim, homo, iedereen. We gaan er helemaal ver mee meelopen.